Beau,
Chris.
the kids are home on a snow day.
Oh.
Yeah. And they got to stay up last night to watch that game.
The Monsters Inc. version or the Monday Night Football version?
So we started with the Monsters Inc. version. And I just want to say, what is that? What do they call that? Monstropolis?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Monstropolis is it's a slap in the face to the Charter Monsters Inc. movie that came out like 20 years ago. Like honestly, it would be like if they made Speed 2, but reanimated Dennis Hopper. Like it doesn't work. I don't want to see Monsters Inc. Brand getting dragged through the mud like that. That was a tough watch. My kids had it on the TV. I had the game on my phone. And we, after about 5 minutes, they were like, "Yo, Dad, I can't watch this anymore." I'm like, "Glad you said it. Let's put the TV on the big screen." So, Beau, I don't know where we start, dude. I think you start with the Chargers, to be fair to the Chargers.
Because I got a good place to start.
Okay, good.
Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh on his team's win Monday night over the Eagles. I'd put it in the discussion of the birth of my 7 children, my marriage, in the conversation. Just joyful, joyous, and the biblical definition of that is just overflowing with joy.
Somebody loves a rock fight.
Yeah.
Dude, they I remember, I don't know what part of the game it was, but they drove down and had like a field goal drive, right? And they kicked the field goal. And by the way, Dicker is automatic.
Dude, he is such an asset for them. Wow.
He's a huge asset, dude. And they go down and kick that field goal, and then, Herbert's running off the field. And great fucking job. Great fucking job. It's just two teams. One of them is totally content going and doing the thing and winning the game. The other team is like, I think they're wrapped up in their own narratives and the pressures of being. We'll get to the Eagles in a second, but I guess what I'm trying to say is the Chargers knew the assignment and they limited the turnovers. The one play Jalen Phillips got a piece of Justin Herbert's arms. They only had to complete 12 passes. They had a couple explosives to the backs out the gate. But more than anything, they just let the Eagles make the mistakes, and they played really tough defense, man. So did the Eagles. Eagles played their asses off on defense, but I thought, if I'm coming away from this game, like, what do I think? I think the Chargers are a really tough team,
Well, it starts with one guy for that, man. Dude, Justin Herbert is fucking tough as nails. That's my kind of takeaway is like, how many times was he? I mean, he was sacked 7 times. But outside of that, he was under pressure constantly. And there were so many times where he would just squirt through the line and like pick up a huge first down or like, find a receiver down the field. And this is a dude who had hand surgery, whatever it was a week ago.
Yeah.
And he got hit, I think like 11 or 12 times. I'd have to look it up, but like, he's battling, man. And I'm pretty impressed by this dude. I like Justin Herbert, man. He's got a lot of shit to him.
I was really impressed with him. I mean, he's kind of the antithesis of what people made him out to be. The long-haired West Coast kid, tall, quiet, kind of unassuming. People question his leadership or, his fire on the field. But he's got the toughness in spades, man. And you see it in this game. There were so many plays where he just knows he's got to duck his head and, get through the A gap and pick up 4 or 5 yards, take a big hit if he has to. And I know a lot of people say like, hey, the guy didn't play that well. No, he didn't play that well. But you also have to realize he's under siege. The pressure rate must have been in the 60s.
I think it was 68%. Let me pull it up here. I got it somewhere.
So PFF has it at 63.
63.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good pull, Noel. I look at this and I say, this game, it wasn't about Herbert playing great, but there's your quarterback that can play in crisis. I mean, at one point in the game, I think Pipkins left the game and they had to put our favorite player that they acquired from the Saints, Penning, in the game momentarily. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Like, this really speaks to how down bad they are up front. And it was the same thing against Jacksonville a couple weeks ago. But they just made it work. They made it work. They stayed at it. There were certain calls that I didn't love, like taking a shot on 3rd and 3 in a game like that at midfield. The 4th down is out the window if you don't hit the shot. There were certain play calls that I didn't think matched up well with the game situation. But at the end of the day, they did what they had to do to win the game. And I want to tip my cap to what is an awesome defense. Now, we're going to talk at length about what's wrong with the Eagles offense, probably, if I had to guess, in this podcast. And I think for a lot of people, even fans that are not fans of either team, like that's the big story this morning. So Chargers fans, great job, great win. I thought the D-line played their asses off. I think Thule and Mack just, at times they wreck the game. Tart, Hand, the guys inside, the creative pressures, the sim pressure that got Jalen in the red zone where he throws the ball right to a defensive tackle. They're making their own luck as well in this game, and they played more man coverage than they're used to. And I think the Eagles just made it easy on them offensively, but that's a very good defense.
Yeah, I love Tart. I think Tart's a really good interior defensive lineman. And then
Philly guy.
Yeah, you talked about that sim pressure. I watched that for a while with Noel. It was a pretty creative call from Jesse Minner, but Deshaun Hand, he's just dropping hot to 3 and pick that off. Dude, that's the kind of thing as a 3 tech. You get 1 or 2 drops, every once in a while. So for him to actually pick that off, he later fumbled it, but Chargers ended up with the ball. So that was a great play from him. But yeah, their defense is tough, man. I like their front 7 a lot.
Here's the problem though. You talk about that sim pressure, they know teams know where the Eagles are going with the football. And so this is a multifaceted problem. Jalen threw some real ducks in this game and made some bad decisions. And me, I'm Mr. Hey, give the guy his respect and his due, but he ain't one of those guys at quarterback. But I will say, there were guys that shared in the blame with him in this game, and he was awful. But so was the coordinator, so are the route concepts, so was AJ Brown. And I look at it, and this isn't me exonerating Jalen Hurts, because I think if you want to have a conversation, I'm not going to be one of those people on Twitter, but what did he do last year? We're talking about right now, and he looks bad. Okay. But they make it easy on teams with the route distribution, the route concepts, and the situations that they go to certain areas of the field. 3rd and 2, AJ Brown running a pivot. They not only drop Tart out, the coffee house another backer out. It's 3 guys could have picked that ball off, and then, they're jumping curls. I know Smith fell down on the route, but they're running routes for these guys. And, you heard after the Bears game, CJ Gardner-Johnson allude to it being a predictable offense. You watch him in Green Bay, Valentine's jumping routes outside the numbers. Teams just know where they're going. So let's get into the Eagles offense here. Yeah, take a deep breath.
I'm just trying to think of where to start with this, because there are some things that were good, the Saquon touchdown felt like a breath of fresh air, love to see that. It was fun to see, and Mike Wazowski run 52 yards or whatever on the Monsters broadcast. But it's just interesting to me that the majority of the creativity from, the run game for the Eagles has come out of the tush push look, and it's the tush push wing T pitch, and Saquon house. I actually thought Saquon rushed really well. Landon Dickerson went down for a good stretch, and he's been banged up. Juergens just straight up is not himself this season. I think we all know that. The offensive line has been struggling to block everything up in the run game. But Saquon had 20 carries for 122 yards. I talked about that 52-yard run, but even at points in the beginning of the game, I feel like he was making a lot of hay in the run game that wasn't necessarily there. So that's a small positive that I have. I don't know. What did you think of the run game? Just starting there, Chris.
A lot of different ways to get to inside zone, and I think honestly, they started hitting off tackle a little bit, and God, where do you start? That's the toughest question here. I have so many concrete opinions, but it's I think going under center at certain points in this game illustrate to me part of the problem, which is they can't live there as much as they'd like to. And to be honest, it's probably a quarterback preference. And so I think that's a little window into hey, when you're looking at Kevin Patullo and you're saying, why the fuck are we running a bunch of sit routes? What's up with the spacing in the passing game? Why is there no middle of the field activity in a lot of situations, right? They come out of the half, they go under center, they go play action, they hit AJ Brown, they're in plus territory. What do they do on 1st and 10? Jalen scrambling around like he doesn't know what's going on. Hit AJ Brown on the crosser. He's right there in the middle of the field. So there's all type. the consistency's not there from anybody, right? Offensive line included, wide receiver room included. But I want to say this, though. You know, there's people screaming more under center. The data is empirical. You have people during the game tweeting about it. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck pointing it out in real time, right? So everybody can see it. Do you think Kevin Patullo is brain dead, or do you think the quarterback has a preference? Okay, because you can see when they run outside zone from under center, how much more linebackers have to respect the multiple things that can happen on the play. Yeah. And so I think that's a little window into when you extrapolate, hey, that the passing game doesn't look anywhere near like other passing games in the NFL from a route distribution standpoint, from the route concepts, the creativity. It's easy to be like, hey, it's all Kevin Patullo. And I agree, he deserves a lot of the blame because he's the offensive coordinator. That's the way this thing works. But I also kind of wonder how much of it is the quarterback doesn't like throwing into certain looks or reading certain areas of the field or going through his progression in a certain manner. He had it, and this is the problem I have, because you come out of this game on surface level and you say, oh, Justin Herbert played like shit too. If you're not paying attention to the game, you're going to equate those two performances. One of them, 5 turnovers, right? The other, 1 turnover. One of them, all day to throw in certain spots in this game. The other, under siege, 60+% pressure rate. And you've got A.J. Brown, you have Dallas Goedert, and you have Devontae Smith. Now the conversation about A.J. Brown. He did not fucking play well, and he knows it. And I'm a big fan of A.J. I've been a big fan of A.J. for a long time, and this isn't some like Philly media call-out thing. I don't think I was better than A.J. Brown. That's not even a conversation. I don't think I was more with the Eagles longer or I had a bigger role. This is just
I was better than him, though. I was way more impactful.
Maybe you can talk about it. But my point is this isn't like me taking a shot at somebody on the Eagles. But as much as he has gone on about things that I think are very valid this year, the rules are when you do that, you have to make the play. And when Perryman is a fucking missile, when Perryman's closing in on you in the middle of the field, the ball's up here. I know it's not a perfect ball, and maybe it is a bit of a piss missile, but you got to pull it in. You're an elite wide receiver. The first shot of the game, as poorly as Jalen played, and you know me, where I stand on the quarterback, but you got to catch that ball. The first drive of the game changes the trajectory of the whole thing. And 100%. Then the ball at the pylon, the game's over.
Incredible ball. That was a great ball, dude. 2nd and 11, there's like 2.5 minutes left in the game. And like, that was such a beautiful ball. And I mean, that's, I've never had to catch an over the shoulder.
They're not all easy catches.
Not an easy catch, but that was a great ball. And that's one that he definitely wants back. But I mean, I'm with you, man. Especially just the one that you said at the beginning. It's like it feels like they would have started everything off on such a completely different note had A.J. Brown been able to take that one in. I don't know. I'm with you. That one in the middle of the field too. I want to see if Nolan has any thoughts on this because I just went through and watched all the passes. But it seemed to me like we've talked a lot about how Jalen is really good with the deep ball. He's good outside the numbers, especially against man. It seemed to me like in this game he was attacking the middle of the field a little bit more, or at least trying to. And at times it was successful. Like he had a really nice deep out to A.J. Brown. I think it was like the 3rd or 4th quarter. It was the 4th quarter, I think. There was a couple to Smitty and a couple nice ones to Dallas Goedert, and then you have the interceptions, right? So was that just my impression?
I think in terms of the middle of the field stuff, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, like Chris and I were talking before the show, it felt like there were a lot of plays where there weren't any routes going over the middle of the field, even between the numbers on some designs. And then you have the play at the end of the game when Jalen rips that like the seam ball over the middle to Smitty, and it's like, God bless it. Like, where's this been?
Where is it?
Like, it almost felt like a Broncos vibe. Like, do we need these circumstances for the middle of the field passing game to come out? But I think, and Chris was kind of talking about, I think it's become obvious that the middle of the field is not part of the integral design of this passing game. And as we've lost the viability of the rushing attack, it's become more of a problem.
My theory on why last night was so bad, it's 2 factors. Number one, Minter calls a defense that's hard to diagnose.
Yeah.
Right? Like they changed the picture a little bit. They've got varied fronts. They have fast linebackers that patrol the middle of the field. Those two guys, Henley and Perryman, are really active in the middle of the field, right? And you got Derwin James. It's a good fucking defense, right? You've got all that in his head, right? So but then on top of it is the expectation that, like, hey, I think the noise is getting to the point now where there's pressure on him to put up or shut up. And I'm not saying that in like a confrontational way, but I'm saying like, hey, I know you don't like throwing in the middle field, but you're gonna fucking have to if you want to be the quarterback in this city for a long time. I know you don't like taking chances, but you're gonna have to take more chances if you're gonna be the quarterback on this team for a long time. And I think all that stuff, whether it's fair or unfair, is in his head this week going in this game, and he's pressing. I think he was pressing a little bit more than he normally does, because when you have a great offensive line and a great run game like they had last year, and everything's clicking, and a better offensive coordinator, you can play safe. And I don't mean taking shots outside the numbers is conservative. I mean, that's safe for him because you got great athletes outside the numbers, right? And he's a beautiful deep ball thrower outside the numbers. That's the strength of his game. But he's got to press him. He's got to push himself to be uncomfortable a little bit in some spots and do things that he's not comfortable doing. And I think those things are coming now where you can't hide behind the offensive line. You can't hide behind the run game. You actually have to do some things you don't love doing, and the coordinator's not great. And so he came into this week, and I think he pressed. And so that's why the bottom was so low for this offense, I think, was, hey, they couldn't make hay the conservative way. They had to take chances, and he's not great at taking chances. I don't know. It's a shit show, dude.
I want to tell you about something I actually thought was a great value add for the Birds, and that was Britton Covey on as a return man. I thought he did a great job, man. He did fumble, but he got it back.
Really nice returns.
But he had some nice returns, man. I looked up his stats because I was like, damn, I feel like he was pretty productive. So he had 4 for 103 yards. That was pretty good. I thought Eagles special teams, outside of that fumble and then the 48-yard miss from Jake, was pretty solid. But he just brought some juice on special teams. And then, Chris, I would love to talk about the defense because there was just a lot of really good stuff here. I think the thing that stuck out to me the most was when we did the preview show on Thursday, we were talking about how Jalen Carter had those, the shoulder procedures or whatever you want to call it, and, needed guys to step up in his absence. Dude, Byron Young had a great game, man. 8 tackles, 1.5 sacks, TFL, 2 QB hits, and then I was really impressed with Jordan Davis too, man. Like, he has had a really good year this year. He had 6 tackles, a sack and a half, 2 TFLs, 2 quarterback hits, but he was really good in the run game, super stout. And that Greg Roman run game, like, they bring Matlock in there, 21, 22 personnel, like, that's big boy football. Nakobe Dean played well. He had 2 sacks that would have been so big if he could have just gotten Justin Herbert on the ground, but he was destroying Hampton in pass pro, just going right through him. So there's a lot of really good stuff defensively, man. I thought Cooper DeJean played really well. Outside of the 1 penalty, Quignon had a really good game. I don't think he even gave up any catches. I'd have to look that up, but I think he had a pretty clean slate. The defense was playing fast, man. They were fucking just murdering the pocket. Like you said it, Justin Herbert was under siege on every single rep.
Yeah, unfortunately, you zoom out and you start to look at the Eagles as like, okay, who are they going to be in the postseason, right? Yeah. Because they obviously still have aspirations, although it's starting to feel like that collapse from a couple of years ago. You look at the teams who are lopsidedly good on one side of the football, let's say defense, like Denver, Houston, and Philly. Whose offense do you trust the most right now out of those 3 teams?
Denver, Houston, and Philly. Whose offense? Maybe Denver.
Yeah, and whose offense do you trust the second most out of those 3 teams?
Not Philly.
Okay. All right. And who's got the best defense out of those 3 teams?
I'd say consistently Houston.
And then second?
Second best. I think
it's closer than people think, but it's Denver.
Yeah.
So that my point is, their strength isn't strong enough. I got a ton of respect for this defense. Ton of respect. You're still working it. And Epps made some nice plays last night.
Yeah.
And Adoree Jackson's really he hasn't been the eyesore that you expected him to be through the year. I think Vic does a great job. Fucking love these guys. A lot of respect for them. They didn't look great last week. I haven't seen Houston look like that in a game, right? I think Nakobe serves a great purpose on first and second down if you're just going to puncture the pocket with him, right? He's just a battering ram. The thing I worried about last night is there were a couple situations where you got like Ty Robinson and Brandon Graham being your defensive tackles on third down. You're thinner than you have been at tackle. I know Jalen Carter's out. I guess my point is, like, if you're expecting this to be a football team that wins defensive football games, then the offense has to play its part. And I think right now the offense is trying to fight its way out of a paper bag and be the team that they've been in the past. When, like, for instance, last night, the Chargers, who were battling into much more of a headwind offensively, probably considering their personnel and everything, they found a way to get it done because they understood the assignment. And I don't know if Philly understands the assignment right now offensively. They might need to pivot and become a totally different type of football team to win games in January this season. So I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like a team is a sum of the parts, and right now they're a little bit out of balance. They're a lot of bit out of balance. Like, if you're going to be a defensive football team, you certainly can't turn it over 5 times. You have to be able to run the football, and you can't be bottom 5 in the league in like 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Like, Houston can take the ball for 7 minutes at a time better than the Eagles can right now. The inconsistency kills teams. You can be consistently mediocre with a top 10 defense, but what you can't be is up and down, low floor, turnovers, no run game. Not good enough, man. Just not good enough.
After the week 9 bye, the Eagles have scored 10 points, 16 points, 21 points, 15 points, and 19 points. So if they're going to be a defensive football team, they got to really limit opposing offenses, Chris.
That's right. And I think more than anything, the point I want to just make is they've not only been bad as a whole, but inconsistent. The production comes and goes within the course of a game, dude. And it's been that way all season, which is a sign that the coordinator doesn't know what he's doing to the degree or doesn't have a rapport with the quarterback. And to that question, I would ask this. Did Patullo get hired because he's one of the hottest names on the market?
I don't know. You're asking me? I genuinely don't know.
Rhetorical question.
Right.
The hiring of Kevin Patullo, Nolan, correct me if I'm wrong, you're probably more plugged in on, the business of Eagles football in the offseason. I thought the hire was at least implied in part to be a hire that was quarterback friendly.
Oh, yeah. I would say in most part being quarterback friendly. I mean, he was the guy who's been in the building through the Steichen offense, through the Brian Johnson offense, through the Kellen Moore offense. So you would think, hey, he knows what works, he knows what doesn't work. I think that was most of the reasoning behind it.
And here's the biggest, and you know what I'm getting at here, which is like, hey, let's not put it. I think the quarterback and the coordinator are starting to share. I know it was like, hey, we're fire Kevin Patullo and the whole thing, like, but you got to spread that vitriol around a little bit now. And I'm not saying bench somebody, but what I am saying is it ain't all the coordinator. That's a very shallow way of looking at things, because if we see it, if everybody on the timeline sees it, if everybody's calling it out, you don't think Kevin Patullo can self-scout?
Right.
There's got to be some reason that he's calling plays this badly. I'm not saying he's Ben Johnson. Welcome to the Green Light Podcast presented by BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code GREENLIGHT and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Just download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code GREENLIGHT. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game. If that bet loses, you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets when using bonus code GREENLIGHT at sign up. Then get access to second chance promos, odds boost tokens, same game parlays, BetMGM original bets, and so much more. BetMGM, make it legendary. The Justin Herbert injury conversation, Laura Rutledge comes up to him after the game. And he was like, not right now. I haven't celebrated with my teammates, right? Immediately, I'm watching my timeline and people are like, what an asshole. How classless. Yada, yada, yada. Do you know why? I think people missed the point. Do you know why he didn't want to do that interview? Because he had surgery on that hand 6 days ago, and he's been waging an information war all week. People have been trying to get the truth. How do you feel? How's it healing? Are you going to be able to take snaps under center? By the way, they took a lot of snaps under center. The guy's got a fucking broken hand. I think people just need to, like, as a prime example of, like, when you see something on the surface, like, if it doesn't make sense, maybe think it through. Justin Herbert's one of the nicest guys in football, and I think Laura Rutledge is fantastic. I'm a huge fan of Laura Rutledge. She's doing her job. There's nothing wrong with what she's doing, but that's why he didn't want to talk to her. Questions 1 and 3 got A+ answers. Question 2 was, how does the hand feel?
Pretty good,
He's
thanks.
a smart guy. He knows what they want. That's what it was, dude.
Pretty good, thanks. Anyway, dude, I love that. But also, like, who was it? Acho, who said that Justin Herbert's a social media quarterback. Dude, contrary to popular belief, he actually doesn't really like the cameras. I feel like I've seen him like flip off the cameras and stuff like that before. So I think he generally just isn't comfortable in that kind of setting. Also, you know.
Well, I think there's that, but you said contrary to popular belief. I only think it's Acho that thinks that he's
right. I was being a little facetious on that one.
He is one of those quarterbacks to whom, like, we talk about the term glass eater. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, Beau hit on it, like, right off the rip. I mean, I was watching that game last night thinking back to, remember that game in 22 when he was clearly playing with broken ribs?
Yeah.
And hits all those clutch throws down the stretch. It's unbelievable, man. The way, I mean, what you guys are able to do, compartmentalizing the pain during a game, it's nuts.
Well, also,
he got hit so much.
He's a big fucking guy, okay? Which helps. Like, when you hit Justin Herbert, you're kind of taking the brunt of that thing. You know, he's not quite Cam Newton, but when he deadlegs you in the middle of the field, I've seen him deadleg some pretty good players. I saw him do it last night.
Dude, he bounced. N'Kobe Dean bounced right off of him.
You don't see that a lot.
No,
it's like when Cam Ward the other day had, and you pointed this out, Delpit draped on him like sliding down a pole. Man, pause.
Yeah.
But he was like, he was all over him. I mean, the strength on some of these quarterbacks in today's game is crazy. He's one of them. Jalen Hurts is one of them. That's why I'm like, where's the?
Did you know that he squats 600 pounds? Did you know that?
Yes. Where's the quarterback run game gone? You know what I mean? Like, the offense is in shambles, man. There's no other way to call it. And that's why last night, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you ask me about an Eagles game and I don't say Eagles are going to win, that might mean I think they're going to lose. And last night when we were like, what do you guys? I think I said verbatim, if you want to bet the Chargers, be my guest. I think the under is a safer bet. And that's what it ended up being, man. So I don't know. Another fact that came out of this game was Gadsden's dad has a pet monkey that he used to bring.
Oh, my God. Troy just slid that in there. And then I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Which reminds me of the fact that we know somebody that used to spend a lot of time around Michael Jackson's pet monkey, and it's the funniest fucking thing in the world. No one knows what I'm talking about.
Shout out Dre. Yeah, Bubbles.
Michael Jackson's pet monkey, dude. The stories about this guy are unreal.
This guy being the monkey?
Yeah. Like, this monkey was a bad actor, dude.
Really?
Yeah, this monkey used to run like run rampant
just to get into some mischief.
Yeah,
I think
in Neverland,
our guy Dre one time tried to have a talking to with Bubbles, and it went pretty poorly for Dre.
Yeah. I wouldn't fuck with a monkey, bro. I watched a horrifying documentary about a chimpanzee in showbiz that went a little awry, and I don't.
Yeah, no.
He said he got thrown there in a hotel room. He got thrown across the bed, hit the wall. His feet never touched the mattress.
Wow.
Like a clean throw.
He said all that playing strength. No,
Michael Jackson's monkey punked him, dude.
Wow.
He said he went in there to discipline the monkey, and the monkey disciplined him, dude.
The turntables.
Yeah. He was the one running Neverland Ranch. Okay, and then the last one was Waylon. I told you guys this last night, but it was funny watching him lose. Well, it wasn't funny watching him lose his fantasy, but he came into the game. He's like, all right, just need Hampton to score less than 7 points. The first fucking drive, dude. He went in, and it was like watching your kid lose like 10 units is the way I put it. Like, it's his version of gambling, but how quickly he started hitting up his boys on our little iPad, his friends in the league, and being like, I'm dumping players. You want any of them? He goes, I don't care about the constellation prize. And then this morning, woke up this morning, he goes, I changed my mind. I'm winning the constellation prize.
There you go, buddy.
I'm like,
He's got that fight in him.
I don't think you know what that word means, brother.
But you're just fast forwarding to like, you know, whatever, 14 years from now when you can legally gamble and just being like, oh, just wait, buddy.
No, I know. Honestly, I got a little flash forward, dude. So, warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Underage sale prohibited! Y'all know I'm a bit more selective of my nicotine pouches these days, so for me, the quality of the pouch is what I prioritize, which is why I'll pop in a Zone Wintergreen. 1 milligram is all I need, whether I'm kicking back and watching ball on a Sunday, floating the river with Cowboy and the rest of the crew, or breaking down film ahead of a show. Zone easily gets me locked in with its smooth feel and variety of flavors. Zone is always on our game day roster. Whether you like a fresh mint flavor or you're into citrus, check out their roster of options and use promo code GL20 at nicokick.com/zone for 20% off at checkout.
This is a Phillip Rivers signed to the practice squad announcement. So literally 4 minutes ago, the Colts have signed Phillip Rivers to the Colts practice squad. Their starter first Sunday is still TBD. Riley Leonard has a chance. Brett Rippon is also on the practice squad. But joining him is Phillip Rivers.
Ursay, man. Stunting like her daddy. Hey, bring in her dad brought in Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
Right off the ESPN desk when he was coaching high school football. And now they're like, yeah, let's turn back the hands of time and go with a guy who looked old 5 years ago during the pandemic. Do you remember
when he played last?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 2020, I think.
That's when I played, dude.
The 2020 season and last game was the wild card against the Bills in the 2021 playoffs.
He looked fine. Like, he wasn't the reason they lost, but I didn't think he had like another 5 years to play football.
He just needed some time off, bro. He's got some fresh legs.
What does this say? Like, when you're Riley Leonard, are you just like, really?
You brought in a grandpa over me. I guess, like, dude. That is fucking. I got to wrap my mind around that. The other thing I want to know is like,
yeah, but the whole grandpa thing.
What's his
come on,
salary
bro.
look like? Like, is he making P squad minimum? You know,
like, dude, that guy. You know what the problem is? How old are his kids?
So his eldest is as old as Riley Leonard and older than Tyler Warren.
Wow. How old's his youngest? That's the most important thing.
Youngest is like 2 years old. His youngest or a year old.
He just needs to get out of the house, man.
His youngest is as old as his oldest grandchild.
He saw Joe Flacco talking about like going to the bar and watching the games and stuff and just like eating a meal at the bar alone.
The defenses he's going to go against are Seattle. If he plays this weekend, it's Seattle, then San Francisco, Jacksonville, and Houston.
Wait. So this is happening.
He's on the P squad.
So they signed him to the practice squad so he could play. He's really going to play quarterback for this team.
He's not going to sign to the practice squad to not play, right? Like, he's not going to come out of retirement. And then I saw some shit about his Hall of Fame career and how it resets the 5-year clock or whatever.
It resets if he plays. So right now he's on the practice squad and it does not reset. Currently he's in the class of 2026. But if he does get activated, his Hall of Fame clock does reset to 2031.
And what day do they have to activate him by?
Wednesday or Thursday, right?
Wow. For
some stats from the last time that he played with the Colts, no Colts team since 2020 has averaged more than the 253.3 passing yards produced by Rivers. And he had almost 4,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, 11 picks across 16 games that season. Should Rivers start on Sunday, it would mark 1,800 days since his last NFL game, almost 5 years. That's the third most days between starts among quarterbacks who did not play between them. The third most.
What are the other ones?
Frank Tripucco, Denver in 1960, John Reeves, Tampa Bay in 1987, and Todd Bowman, Jacksonville in 2010.
Dude, I can't get over this. So he's playing the Seahawks defense potentially. And if he survives till week 17, the Texans Dude, what if he just lights the league on fire? God, that'd be awful.
I'm definitely going to be rooting for him. I'm going to be pulling for him because this would be hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
For whatever this is worth, at the end of for actually multiple years with the Chargers, Shane Steichen was on staff there, working on the offensive staff with Phillip Rivers. So they do kind of have that chemistry, having worked with each other. So I don't know how similar those systems were, but
all right. Thanks for joining the show. And if you just landed in Philly from the fucking West Coast, dude, God bless you. At least you got the damn Chargers to go on silent count in their stadium. Some emasculating shit.